Today we're going to crack open one of the biggest, most powerful, and yeah, most controversial names in entertainment, Activision Blizzard. This is the company that for millions of people is modern gaming. And right now, it's at the heart of a deal that could change the entire industry. So let's get into it.
You've almost certainly seen some of these guys before, right? I mean, from the gritty battlefields of Call of Duty to the epic fantasy worlds of Warcraft, and even the super addictive puzzles of Candy Crush. These characters are part of this huge creative universe. But behind all the fun and games is an absolute global entertainment giant. And that giant, well, it's currently smack in the middle of one of the biggest corporate showdowns we've seen in a long time. A mind-blowing $69 billion deal that has regulators, competitors, and gamers all over the world watching very, very closely. Okay, so let's start with the thing that has everyone talking, that massive industry-shaking Microsoft merger. So, back in early 2022, Microsoft just dropped a bombshell. They offered to buy the whole company, all cash, for $95 a share. If this thing actually goes through, Activision Blizzard as we know it, well, it just vanishes from the stock market and gets completely absorbed into the massive Microsoft empire. But, this is absolutely not a sure thing. If regulators step in and block the deal, Microsoft might have to pay a breakup fee of up to $3 billion. That number alone tells you everything you need to know about how badly they want this to happen. It is a huge, huge gamble. So what is Microsoft actually trying to buy for all that cash? Well, it's not really just one company. You have to think of it more like a gaming empire that's built on three really distinct pillars. So the company is really made up of three powerhouse studios. You've got Activision, Blizzard, and King. And as you're about to see, each one of these completely dominates a different corner of the gaming world, from your living room console to your PC to the phone in your pocket. First up, you've got Activision. This is the home of the absolute juggernaut Call of Duty. And let's be real, it's not just a game anymore. It's a cultural phenomenon. It's a multi-billion-dollar machine that has completely owned the action genre for years now. Then you have Blizzard. These guys are the architects of these sprawling, legendary universes like Warcraft, Diablo, and Overwatch. Blizzard has an incredibly loyal, dedicated fan base, and they even have their own online platform, Battle.net, to sell their games and connect all their players. And last but not least, there's King. This is the mobile gaming powerhouse. We're talking about the creators of Candy Crush, a game that became a true global phenomenon and basically proved to the world just how insanely massive the market for casual, on-the-go gaming really is. Okay, so you've got these three huge pillars, but how does that actually translate into billions of dollars in the bank? Let's take a look at their playbook. Now, this is pretty incredible. In 2022, a whopping 79% of all their revenue came from just three franchises: Call of Duty, Warcraft, and Candy Crush. Their entire business model basically rests on the shoulders of these three giants. But here's where it gets tricky for them, a real potential vulnerability. See, they make the games, but they don't actually control how you get them. Their biggest customers aren't players, they're the platform holders. We're talking Apple, Google, and Sony. They act as these gatekeepers with their app stores and consoles, and boy, do they take a big cut of the money. So their growth strategy is actually a pretty simple but really powerful three-step loop. First, expand your reach, get more players in the door, especially on mobile. Second, deepen engagement. Make the game so good people play for months or even years. And third, increase player investment. Turn all that time people are spending into reliable cash through things like in-game purchases. But it hasn't all been a simple story of growth and success. The company has also been navigating some pretty rough waters lately, facing some serious challenges, both inside and out. Internally, there's been a really notable wave of labor activity. In 2022, small groups of quality assurance workers at two different studios, Raven Software and Blizzard Albany, they actually voted to form unions. A third petition was later pulled, but still, these events signal a pretty big shift in the company's labor landscape. And then externally, there was a major shakeup in the huge Chinese market. Their long-running licensing deal with NetEase for most of the Blizzard games, it expired in early 2023. Now, while that was only about 3% of their total revenue, it's still a big loss of presence in a key market. The important thing to note, though, is that key mobile games like Diablo Immortal and Call of Duty Mobile are safe. They're covered by totally separate deals. And all of this brings us right back to the biggest challenge of them all, the merger itself. This deal is facing intense pushback from regulators all over the world. Most importantly, a formal complaint from the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, which is actively trying to block the whole thing on antitrust grounds. So, with everything that's going on, the giant franchises, the internal turmoil, that high-stakes merger, what does the future actually hold? I mean, what is the next level for Activision Blizzard? Well, the company itself tells us what they think in their 2022 annual report. Their objective? To connect and engage the world through epic entertainment. So you see, this isn't just about selling games anymore. It's about building these global, connected experiences that keep us all hooked. Which really leaves us with the ultimate question here. If this historic merger actually does go through, will it really help create the future of entertainment, bringing these incredible worlds to more people than ever before? Or will it just create a bigger, more consolidated battlefield and the endless war for our time and our attention? Well, that is the $69 billion question.